So we move on to Marco and his the big hunt list. Now let me clear some of these tabs up because I brought up a bunch of these tabs personally. Okay, cool. So he went to Chimera Gaming. Let's see if I can pull it up right so you guys can see it on BCP. And what up, live chat? If I miss anything, let me know. If you want me to talk about something more, let me know. Try not to just rant too much on one topic or one list. But here we go with Marco. He got fifth. 6 rounds, though, so pretty heavy. And he lost right here on the very first day of day 4. But I have a little bit of a soft spot for the hunt right now, so I want to pull out the hunt list. And I think a lot of people still own those kind of models. So let's take a look at something like that. And also, if you've noticed, I'm picking stuff that isn't the standard. Here's a bunch of boys, 20 boys destroying people, running up the field. I love those lists, don't get me wrong. But I've been showing those for weeks, and they're pretty much similar, and we know what they're doing. So I'm trying to show you diversity to inspire people to use different stuff and to keep figuring out dispositions. So all people that are playing the odd and off dispositions, you got my attention. You're doing a good job. And this is another odd list because we're seeing Mazrag, we're seeing Squigs, no traditional meta lists or units here. This almost feels like someone took a 9th edition Salve list and then said, well, you're going to play the 11th edition missions and everything like that. So speaking of, let's look at this list. We have first attached unit, Mazrag with a big old fat brick of pigs. He went full 8-man unit. Now I'll tell you guys, I've been telling you guys, I've been playing the hunt, right? I've been playing the hunt, and I use Maz with a brick of pigs just like this, but I use it a 4-man unit, not the 8-man unit. So when I seen this, I'm like, dang, where is this dude staging it, right? It's like, then you kind of want to reserve this. You generally already wanted to. But there are places where you can be somewhat aggressive with it. You just always kind of accept that you're not getting some of those guys into combat. Yeah, with that being said, though, this unit can actually shred when you're in the hunt because you have critical 5+, and then you also have AP2. So one of the biggest things you're missing on pigs is the AP. You get that in the hunt. So you don't get +1 to hit, but critical 5+ sustain is almost as good as +1 to hit. Well, probably as good. Then we go into the attachment unit 2 and 3. Are both 10-man units of Snagaboys with beast bosses. Of course, one of those is the proper Killy boss. Absolutely insane. I had one of these dudes one-shot Fulgrim. It was great experience just watching him one-shot that guy 1v1ing him. Actually, he didn't 1v1 him. I guess technically a couple Snagaboys like chopped off a couple wounds at the end, but yeah, or to begin with. Excellent units. Good skirmishers. In this detachment, you have access to advance and charge outside of the wall. You get rerolls for charges, which is huge in this edition. And then you also put that in tandem with boarding ramps. You get +1 to your charge. So these guys are fast. They're fast outside the wall. The rigs themselves can auto advance 6. They can get in fights. They can do stuff. And then the Snaggle Boys can get out and start doing things. Get +1 strength from those kill rigs outside or during the wall. And yeah, this is with Rolling Death. I'll pull it up just to make sure I'm not lying. Yeah, he's with Rolling Death, and he chose Purge. So, yeah, a bunch going on there with that combo. I'm really glad to see it. And then he goes to a 4th unit where he has another big brick of pigs, dude. That's insane. That's insane. I've been playing the hunt, guys. I haven't been bold enough to run that many pigs. I haven't seen anybody in that much of a long time, right? So the fact that he did it, he did so well and got my attention. I was really excited to see it, and I hope pigs get the mobile keyword in the new codex. But here he pushed earlier Squig, so they have -1 to wound. Like I said about the Maz unit, you get the additional IP. This unit can actually kind of fight. Mind you, it also gets +1 to charge because the Squig boss, a -1 to a heroic intervention strat, and the Squig boss himself is quite dirt cheap. Then last not least, the 5th unit is a beast boss on Squigosaur with Glory Hog with just 4 pigs. Now this one is interesting because when I was talking to my boy Christian, shout out my cousin Christian, we were talking about the impact of scouting pigs and Glory Hog. And the idea was, I was saying, well, I'm just using Maz and I like how he kills, and why would I want to scouting anyways right now? I'm already fast enough. And when the more we spoke about it, it's because of the mental assault it puts on your opponent to go, hey, I can scout 9 these pigs, and there are spaces that are generally safe for staging in this edition if you scout that much. So you can scout, then you can tell the enemy I can automatically move 10 because I move 10. I can advance and charge, or I can just do that normal scout and normal move and then have a kill rig auto advance 16 alongside that unit and then go for a charge right on turn 1 or turn 2 without even declaring the wall. You have that much pressure, you're able to move that quickly. And so it just impacts the opponent's entire deployment to go, I can declare any one of your units, I'll get reroll charges on it, I'll get critical 5+, and I'll get additional AP into it. So Armor of Contempt's not going to save you. -1 to hit's not going to save you. Like, none of these buffs that you're thinking are going to save you are going to save you. And I'm going to run into you with all of these buffs with this pig unit if I want. Right? Most people now, if they're playing take and hold armies or whatever, they want to take something big and stage right in the middle, nice and safe, and be like, yeah, I can't wait for my go turn. I'm going to push this right in your face. You can't stop me. And well, if I go jump on your face first, I might stop you, right? And so it impacts the opponent greatly. And I think it slept on it a little bit. So I think it played a impact. I know my kill rigs just being that fast so far and having WAAAGH and pig units themselves has been important. So Glory Hog, I can see playing a role in just maybe you don't do any of those things I mentioned in any of your games, but having that opportunity impacts the enemy is all I was trying to point out there. WAAAGH Gutsmech, I love him in the hunt. He goes alongside everybody great. His toughness, his speed, and he's great at trying to take the enemies home. 1 Gretchen unit, I love to have 2, but this crazy git had a Shock Jump Dragsta. Now with the new Shock Jump Dragsta ability, you're not picking them up. You're just simply moving, advancing endlessly, forever, unlimited advance, and then you just stop 8 inches away from the enemy. And it's funny, I was considered, and I've talked about this in the past with Armor Gits before, but it's about the board control that you have here with the Shock Jump Dragsta. The ability to say, like, oh, you have, say you're playing one of those Terminator, fancy Terminators, beaky Space Marines things where they're like, I can pick up a Terminator unit and increase them turn 1, for example, like Space Wolves. You can be like, well, now that I know you're going to try to do that to me, I'm going to Shock Jump Dragsta, take up that space for any of these early turn 1 redeploys, retaking positioning on the table kind of shenanigans you're going to try to do. I can take the shock jump and just immediately fill up these spots, or I can wait late game and just fly across the field with this. Has more OC, it's a bit tougher, stuff like that as well. And I can just leave it in my backfield screening just like the Grots would, and then fly around the field at will to score once I realize I have that space. So he works as like, I'm still going to play this passive role, but I can fly around, do everything everywhere. He's a little low, and it's funny because maybe it's just at 5 points instead of Snickrot, and you had to do it, but he really does work in that place. He can't do actions, but just being there goes a long way. And I've always found that when you're playing this kind of list where you don't really have screens, right? He doesn't have screens on this list. He goes forward with the rigs. He has his pigs, one of his pigs bricks, and that's it. That means if the enemy has the ability to say, I'm going to ingress at the end of your movement and then immediately on my turn move advanced charge into you, then he takes the initiative away from me and he can really crash one of my units really poorly. So this shock jump Dragsta, as for I'm going to control table space of your ingressing capability, is to not be underappreciated, right? It's the one thing that looking at this list, you would think it's out of place, but to me, it makes a complete sense to me. And Snicker might do it better or differently or whatever, but this guy's pretty big, so he does it maybe a little better in that way. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Love kill rigs, love boarding ramps, everything. Really big for that. And let's look at his path to victory. Before we jump back into the video, transporting a full Warhammer army, especially an Orc horde, can be a battle in itself. The oTTRPGo large magnetic miniature carrying case is built to carrying armies over 3,000 points with adjustable metal trays to give you room for everything from boys to vehicles and your biggest centerpiece gets. Once your bases are magnetized, your model stays secured to the trays without being packed within foam. And because a massive army gets heavy fast, the case includes a detachable trolley handle and wheels, so you can roll the wall into your local battle. Check it out using my affiliate link in the description. It helps support wall tactics at no additional cost to you. Protect your models, save your backs, and roll into the next call of the wall. And like chat saying, yeah, just keep in mind, I'm loving the hunt because you get reroll charges into your target. That counts for your heroics. You get heroic buffs. Your dudes are fast. It just feels like you're fast the entire game, not just for certain parts of the game. So it doesn't have the same overwhelming factor as like some of these most meta lists, but I've been having a really fun time with it. So let's see. We got his first matchup, which was into Adeptus Custodes. So this was a meat grinder because it's Purge versus Purge. And it's funny because I'm playing them and I'm playing them as priority. So maybe I'm wrong because the good players are getting using Purge. You guys let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. We got Trajan with some Guardians. Nice brick right there, 4. We have Valerian with another unit of Guardians. A Blade Champion with some Guardians. Another Blade Champion with some Guardians. See, this is what I was more familiar with. Then a Shield Captain with 1 brick of Alar's Terminators, and then a small 3-man unit of Alar's Terminators. So one thing I've noticed into this matchup is because of the additional AP and critical 5+, and I also have higher strength that I can reach. So like let's just pick a random thing that I'm going to put as a matchup here. Like let's say one of my units of pigs or Squig Snagga boys, or 2 of each one double team, because generally I try to double team Custode units with one of those kind of units. Both of them hypothetically could get buffs from kill rigs and put them at better wounding thresholds into both of these any of these Custodes units that I'm punching. So like the pigs, they start at 5, then as in the guys on top, right? So the guys on top start at 5, the wall gives them the 6, and then a kill rig can get them to 7. So then I would be 7, and then +1 to wound from Lance. So that makes me better at punching with hair. Plus, I'm -2 AP. So these guys are all going on their wounds. Then if they interrupt, and I've already killed a couple of them, and you're trying to punch like a kill rig and a Squig boy unit, right? You're not really killing those horde like that well, and I can still fall back with my stuff. So I've noticed that, for example, if you control the space, like I was talking about that one the Dragsta, or for example the scouting pig unit, where you can kind of manipulate where they're going to end up and what they do, or maybe they just go, you know what, I'm going to go for it, I'm not going to be scared of you because I can advance and charge with this unit. You're like, sure, whatever, but you're fast enough, auto advance 6, crash into them with the pig. They can't reliably kill the pig in response, like the kill rig, for example. And then they might counter assault and try to kill it with more stuff, and then that's when you bring in your actual wall and you massively crash into the enemy. Usually double teaming any of these really hyper elite units will be good, and then leaving the other units that are still double teaming as well, but it'll be something like a pig and the kill rig, but then your 10-man unit will go find something to skirmish with, or it'll be using one of the combos because it'll be strength 5, then strength 6 from the wall, then strength 7. Then maybe they do, maybe they have because let's see, these guardians have spears. So that means these guys are 3 wound guardians. So these are highly susceptible to the beast boss with 3 damage, right? Because he can do a sweep, critical 5+, and then he has all the snagger dudes with him. So this guy would just, that little 10-man snagger unit, guys, I'm telling you, it's happened though. And especially if you roll like a lethal, you're like, oh, kill rig, +1 strength to that snagger unit with the boss with the 3 damage sweeps. Oh, you crump, dude. It's crump. I've been eating up Terminators and units like that left and right. So went a little long there, but yeah, I like that matchup. It would be a fun one. Then we go into the second one where you can see he very low scoring, but that can happen sometimes. So we go into the second game. We have Chaos Demons, we have Legion of Access, and Warp Tide. So priority assets. Oh, so maybe that changes the score. Like I keep telling you guys, when I make Take and Hold video, I'll pontificate on this. But I think the Take and Hold matchup in the priority favors the priority. But in this case, he's playing Purge the Foe, which again, I still think priority doesn't hate it, the matchup, as much as you would think. So he had to go get him, and it usually just messed with the score because you're like, urgency behind this as the purge player. And so he had to go into him compared to as the priority person, he could be passive as the demons player, right? I've done this matchup where I was priority and then the demon player was take, I think, and then they had to come get me or something. And then they were priority 2 or something. So I put a different kind of aggro evolution here where I could be somewhat passive. But in this case, our friend had to just be straight into it and run into this guy. And I'm sure that's why the score wasn't as high as he wanted it to, because demons could be cagey when you got to get in there. So we have Slilax with some demonettes. We have a Contour, whatever that is, a demonette, a keeper of secrets, another keeper of secrets, a torment bringer, 3 10-man units of demonettes, Beast of Nurgle, triple 5-man fiend. So there's a lot of speed on this list. Good volume of punching, and then also the keepers punch pretty well. And if you don't have the right combos on them, because they're always -1 to hit, they could be quite hard to hit. And then they're good AP. They're like AP3, so they're good at punching through your Squig Holic Boys too in response. They're very fast, so this army is actually quite fast in this matchup too. So I can see this being difficult when you're the purge person saying, I have to run this list down and go take assets from them. But something that's in your favor is how tough you are. And if you pull in some good overruns, for example, with like these demonettes, the small units, utilize either your rigs or your snagger boys to pull off some overruns. So like, again, if you use a kill rig and you use the cleave stratagem, where he gets cleave on all his weapons. So this is a 10-man unit. You would get 2 more attacks per all his weapons on his data sheet. And then maybe the pigs can overrun and then run into a demon unit and crash into that and kill it to get the initiative. That helped me in some of the games when I had to deal with it. And these fiends as well, you have to do that. But your pigs and your kill rigs being so tough means that all these little skirmish things are not going to be good at committing to them. So you have to commit real units into it. Nonetheless, it's still a hard matchup, as you can see, because you only got 49 points in that one. So I'd like to see how that went for him. I think that was something to do with just like the disposition challenge, in my opinion. Not that I could prove that, just wondering. Then we go into this third game. I'm gonna try to go faster into this, guys, because I'm dragging. So we got Drukhari with Reconnaissance. Guess what he was playing? Reconnaissance or Reconnaissance? We have Lady, we have a Cabalite. What business team? What the heck is that? An Archon, some Cabalite warriors, Drazar, some Incubi, Succubus with witches, a Raider, double Venoms, double Ravengers, double Voids, Chronos, Hellions, Reavers, Mandrake, Scourges. So in this matchup, the one thing you worry about is like the one turn they come out with whatever lances they have. What are these things called? Heat lances they have. Sure, they could pop your kill rigs, and then they have a lot of infantry, like anti-infantry weapons. Other than that, though, your pigs quite safe running at these guys. The kill rigs themselves quite safe once they make targets. Once you do dismantle any of these like transports or some of these Chronos that are standing around, these units that are picking up their little drakes and stuff, they run out of momentum and they can't really pick up Squig type data sheets. And your data sheets go so well into them because like even a Snagga unit of 10 Snagga boys with the kill rig for +1 strength deletes any of their units. So then yeah, kill them 92 as score shows. Going to his fourth matchup. Now this is the one he lost, where he goes into Tyranids. So I've had this where I've just bad luck in the Tyranids. It's not the Tyranid player did anything wrong. Like it's not like they don't earn it. I am bad luck in the sense that when they call Shadow of the Warp and you don't roll enough leadership battle shock tests and you don't pass enough of them, it's a huge deal for something like the Hunts, especially because you focus that strength of your strat stacking and also your mobility strats. So I can see that being a huge deal, not going off and really swinging games for me. I know personally that's happened several times. So we have Subterranean Assault Force, and this is another one, like I said, if the enemy can come up on you and hit you first in this kind of army that you're running with this many pigs, that hurts a lot because that's the one thing you can't stand. So I can see this being tough, and it was a disruption. And we were talking about, me and Steven Papperine were talking about disruption not versus purge. We did talk about that a little bit though. So we have one old One Eye with the one basic Carnifex, probably just so he gets his buffs. We have a Tyranid Prime with Lashing Whip with 10 Hormagaunts, 2 of those bricks. Another prime with the bio weapons and the warriors. Some hyper adaptive Ravner bricks, 2 of them. The red tier, which actually has some pretty sick rules nowadays for hitting and going. We have Swarm Lord, Bio Wars, Hive Guard, Raveners, Von Round Leafers, 1 small unit of Zone Thrope, and then another small unit of Zone Thropes. But that's still enough to threaten your rigs. Like I said, though, this game has a couple things that could give it a 44, so it was a tough one. That's his person. So he got a 86, his opponent did. Like I said, being able to control the space so the enemy can actually like ingress, smash into you on their terms is one of those hard weaknesses you would have is playing this style of pig list where you're just like, all I have is big stuff all set up. You know, if the enemy can choose their terms of engagement, pick your army apart, somehow kill a rig and get the guys on the inside and get some charging off, it can go. Something that can go your way is if you go first and you run to their lines, get their rigs caught on their lines and your pigs, pick up what is on the field. There could be a chance that that's a good factor too, but I don't really know the disruption primary into this, so maybe that took a play as well. Then he goes into his 5th game where he makes a total comeback. It's a 100-point win there. Sorry, guys. I was supposed to show you this, and I left you over there. So a priority asset versus our boys Purge. So he has a call with some big brick of Hearthguard. Uthral the Destin with a big brick of Hearthguard. Oh, no, it's 5. Just a 5-man unit of Hearthguard. We have Myanmar the Strategist with some Steeljacks, whatever this guy's name is. Goodness. Capricus Carrier, 1 brick of Broknir Thunderkin. A 3-man unit of Thunderkin. Double land fortresses, a Pioneer, a Jaeger, and a Steeljack melee. So they got a couple more units than usual, but they're all small. Only 2 guys in that one as well. One thing I've always noticed and always said is when I play Leagues of Votann, I like to be aggressive because I know they want to take up their space so they can bring in their reserves, so they can hold the line and then crash into you and do the combined arms thing. So I still feel like that's the correct play, right? Run up, kill their Steeljacks, stop the reserve space, threaten their big transports, just pull their army apart. And I think the Hunt does that quite well. Normally, this army strength is not only their power armor, but their weird toughness categories. And the Hunt is one of those weird orcs detachments that's stronger than other orc detachments because they have so many base strength 5 plus 1 to strength stuff all over the place, like I mentioned in the Custode thing. So same thing happens here, but more passively and naturally because most of their toughnesses are T6. So most of the Snaggles already do that. So pretty nice, 100 points. Not necessarily surprised. I think that's a good matchup for the Orcs. And then 87 into his last game where he goes into Adeptus Mechanicus, which is another priority asset. So a lot of priority assets out there. So we got Belisaria's Call, a Ranger unit, double Iron Strider, 3-man units, Skystalker, some Battleclade Servitors, 2 of them, or 3 of them. So these guys are actually quite good value. And then 2 Sakarans, 1's a 5, 1's a 10. 3 Ruststalkers, 1's a big 10. And then 2 Disintegrators. So these guys are Enemic, you never know because sometimes they have real high potential, but then they just whiff. Because look, they have a bunch of las cannons on here, the Disintegrators, and they have fast infantry that can crash into you, and then they could choose to precision you with some of those infantry. Like they have, in theory, a lot of good combos. It's just can he deliver it before you deliver your wall hyper aggressive dismantling, and it looks like he just didn't. So great job by Marco. This list, excellent, 100% awesome way to end the edition. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When I put a poll out there earlier, and I said, well, you know, how are people ending the edition? What do you want to play? What are you guys enjoying the most right now? And people that are running like silly stuff, like it's not silly, but like how skewed, outrageous. Hey, I know I have some bad matchups somewhere out there. I know that they have super direct weaknesses, but I'm just going to go for it and have a great time. Play Purge. Ooh, this is awesome. Bringing back the pigs, brought back the rigs. The shock jump was a great tech piece, and then you snuck in WAAAGH Gutsmack out there. So I hope this encourages people because even though we know there are, just like me, I'm drawn to a lot of these other strong lists that are out there right now, like in Freebooter Crew. But still, I want to play stuff I really, really enjoyed throughout the edition as I end the edition. Pigs are one of them. Rigs are one of them. And killer cans are one of them. So, Marco, thank you for enjoying your army and inspiring everybody to enjoy the Great Wall. So, carry on with that with the big hunt. If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.
Let's get stuck in, lads!